Welcome, everybody. You're here with the Next Man Up crew. We're in here for our next edition of our great Sportscast. Of course, you got me, Chooch, and my brother, my co-host, Mandy, and it's gonna be an exciting show today. We're gonna get right into it because a couple of things have happened in sports that kind of caught us off guard, and I know for a fact it caught me off guard. The MLB trade deadline was a lot spicier than I really anticipated it being. And one of the teams who made a lot of moves, and if you know the show, a couple weeks in a row I've talked about these guys because I like them. I like the squad. I really do. They've been bad for so long that it's nice to see them doing good. And the San Diego Padres made a ton of moves at the deadline. They got Clevenger, who was the ace for the Indians. Obviously, they traded him because they have Shane Bieber over there.
Hold on. Before you continue, no, they traded him because the Indians clubhouse couldn't stand him anymore because of what he did during the whole COVID outbreak. So he needed to leave Cleveland. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and he needs to change. He needs to change the scenery anyway. You know what I mean? And I think going to San Diego helps him. And they also got a couple of other guys who are really going to help that team. They got Aaron Nola, who's a veteran catcher. They got him from the Mariners. He's been hitting the baseball really, really well. Yeah, you might be saying that because you don't know who he is. Hey, I did my research. And you got Mitch Moreland, who has been a slugger for the Red Sox for a couple of years now. And the Padres just made a lot of moves that are really going to help that team go deeper and deeper into the postseason because that's what they really needed, right? You feel like the Padres are there, but they just need a little something to put them over the top. They also got Trevor Rosenthal from the Royals, so they made a ton of moves. And the one thing I do like about what the Padres did is that they didn't give up too many of their pieces. They didn't really give up any of the pieces that are helping them now. Tatis obviously is untouchable. They didn't touch Machado. They didn't touch Cronenworth. They still have all the pieces there that they're trying to build a playoff team with, and they kept it in house. So I like what the Padres did at the trade deadline.
This is what I'll say about the Padres. The only good thing I'll say about the Padres, that Clevenger trade. People say, "Oh my God, the Padres gave up 4 top prospects. They gave up 2 shortstops. Yes, they're good shortstops, but guess what? Tatis isn't going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. Yeah,
he's not going anywhere. So that was a great trade by the Padres because it's not a need. Shortstop is not a need. And They gave away 2 shortstops for a good frontline starter, though some maybe maturity issues. But on the field, he's legit.
And then to go with what you said too, I mean, even if let's say Tatis gets hurt like he did last year, Machado is very easy to make that transition to shortstop and can play there too. So that's who I like what they did at the trade deadline. I know you got somebody else, another team in mind that you really liked.
I got 2 teams. One team is going to be the team that actually made some moves, and a lot of you guys probably don't even, like my brothers always said, "Oh, you don't know who they are. You don't know who they are." The Blue Jays. The Blue Jays has quickly become my favorite team in the American League. It was the White Sox.
Oh, I just bought a Blue Jays hat actually, so yeah.
Oh wow! I think I might have tripped the bandwagon. I love what the Blue Jays are doing. Yes, we all know about the core young guys with Bichette, right, and Biggio and Vladdy Jr. and all those guys. Teoscar Hernandez, home run leader, but their pitching staff, my guy, oh my Lord. Taijuan Walker has been one of my favorite underrated pitchers since he's been with the Diamondbacks. How do I know him? Because when he would pitch against the Dodgers, he used to shut them out all the time. Who's this young African American guy with tattoos? Damn, this guy can throw.
He just did that to the Dodgers when he was with the Mariners recently. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah.
This year he was with the Mariners, right? Also, I put a bunch of bets with the Mariners, and
when he's throwing.
Yeah, when he's throwing, and now he's going to the Blue Jays with Ryu, Taijuan Walker, and they also got Robbie Ray,
and there's another rookie who's really good too. His name is Nate Pearson. He's great.
Oh, he's like 6'6". Yeah. Oh, I know the Blue Jays. Remember I told you last show I bet a lot on the Blue Jays, and they were costing the overs. Yes, he's like 6'6", flamethrower, and they got Stripley from the Dodgers.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough rotation to compete with.
I was going to say fact check, but the Blue Jays, I love what they did with their pitching staff. Oh, my Lord. They're going to make some noise in the AL East, and I don't want to see them in a 5-game playoff series because they're going to have young arms throwing gas.
You know what else they did, too, which was actually, for me, was something that was really smart. They also, in that deal, they got Jonathan Villar, who a lot of people know his name. He's kind of a household name, but he's a utility guy. He can play second. He can play outfield. He can play middle infield. And he's good. He's a reliable player. He has been for a while. So that helps them with depth if they have injuries later on. VR can make that jump to second, to center field, to left field, right field. I mean, Blue Jays are wheeling and dealing, and I think that they feel close. And in a shortened season like this, they wanted to make that push to give themselves the best opportunity.
And they're setting themselves for the future with Stripling. And remember, Tajon Walker, he's a young guy. He's young.
Cat. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And go ahead.
I say my second team, but you want to continue, or you got?
Yeah, I just want to point out, I think that they did this because the Yankees are kind of teetering right now. The Red Sox aren't there, and
horrible.
And the Rays lose a lot of games to teams they shouldn't. So I think Toronto sees this as an opportunity to get better in a time where everybody else isn't.
Oh, so big ups to Toronto. I think Toronto's making playoffs hands down.
That's a bold prediction.
No, right now the Toronto Blue Jays are gonna finish in the wild card, first place in the wild card. And you Yankee fans, now I'm looking at you, brother. Yeah. You better watch out, my guy, because you guys had like a 6-game losing streak.
No, they just swept the Mets. They just swept the Mets.
Prior to that, they were on a 6-game losing streak. Okay, and you better watch out because the Blue Jays, they might get that second spot. Be careful. Now the second team I want to talk about with this trade deadline, is actually they didn't make moves, which is great for them. They made 0 moves besides trading away a young piece. The Dodgers. I'm so happy the Dodgers did not make any trades for a frontline pitcher like Lance Lynn from the Rangers, Clevenger. No, you know why? Again, this is a 60-game season. They're more than halfway done with the season. This starting pitcher would have made, 3 starts? And the playoffs? And you would have given away some of your top prospects? Remember, the Dodgers, they actually breathe from within. Gavin Lux, all these guys, Keegan Hernandez, Bellinger, May, they all come from within the program. Why are you going to trade away your prospects for a frontline pitcher who's going to pitch for you 4 games maybe?
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you to some extent. I just feel like Dodger fans have been saying that for years, for like 3-4 years. We have enough. This is the team. This is our team. This is us. And then what happens? They get to the playoffs and lose because it's on. What's the problem? What do people always quote? They always say, they're like, we didn't have enough pitching. Kershaw wasn't there. We didn't have enough pitching. So to me, you get, let's say Walker Buehler's your number 1 starter, right? Game 1 starter. Game 2, do you want to give the ball to Kershaw? Really? You would love to say, as a Dodger fan, you'd say like, yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
Or would you rather be like, Lance Lynn is on fire this year. He's only given up about 4 runs all year long. Let me give it to Lance Lynn. I like Dustin May stuff. He just worries me. You know what I mean? He doesn't get enough swing and misses. My thing, I think the Dodgers traded away Stripling, and I would love to see Tony Gonsolin get some more starts because when he gets in there, he goes deep into ball games and he doesn't get hit very hard. So now I want to see Tony Gonsolin play a little bit more. And I think that'll help.
This is the wild card, and yes, I swear to you, I put it down. Manny does not lie. The night of the trade deadline, because I got to gather information for the show and stuff. I was thinking, what would be pretty awesome if David Price opts back in and pitches for the Dodgers. And you know what's crazy? In the morning, when I woke up this morning, guess what? I'm watching ESPN before I go to work, and guess what the topic on ESPN First Take? David Price possibly could opt back in.
Yeah.
I go, what?
It wouldn't hurt
the
Dodgers. I would say that. It wouldn't hurt the Dodgers.
A lefty veteran starter who's now rested and who was complaining last year about a wrist injury, why he was so bad. Oh my gosh.
And he won a World Series. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the Dodgers could be set up prime to make a playoff run and win the championship, but aren't they always? And we just got to see them wait. They have to execute.
Yeah,
Dodgers are a prove-it team to me every year. You know what I mean? They can get 100 wins. They could be the best team in baseball. They could hit the most home runs and score the most runs and all that good stuff. But they have to prove it in the playoffs. Last year, I mean, yes, they got beat by the champs, but they shouldn't have lost to that Nationals team. They should not have.
The Nationals won the World Series.
Who was the better team going into that series? The Dodgers. Every year they're the better team going into every series.
Remember,
and they don't
we had this
finish.
Conversation already. The Nationals, technically, since the All-Star break, had the better record.
Yeah, but like I said, when your payroll's that high, when you got those guys on your team, you're supposed to win. Now let's move on. So sports to feel like they're coming back, and it feels good, And one sport that, I mean, that's my favorite sport. I love talking about it. I love watching it.
I love betting on it.
I love betting on it. Football is back. Football's back. It's coming back soon. And with that comes your fantasy football drafts, right? I'm already like in 3 leagues.
I already have one.
More. Yeah, Mandy's got one. We're starting one with the Next Man Up Sportscast crew. See if you're better than us. Shoot us a DM on Instagram. We'll get your email. We're looking to do the draft here pretty soon. But I want to talk about some fantasy football. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk for those people who you think you know it all, right? But then it gets to your 15th pick. It gets to your 8th pick. You're like, who do I pick? I don't know these guys. So I'm going to give you 2 of my under-the-radar guys. Mandy's going to give you 2 of his under-the-radar guys that you can take, you can pick up, feel confident, and stash them, and everyone's going to be like, who's that guy? Why did you pick that guy? You're going to be like, wait and see. Chooch from Next Man Up told me to pick that guy. So,
or Mandy. What the?
Or Mandy. So my first guy, okay? Tight ends are great. And there's only like 3 good ones, right? That you can consistently rely on. You know, you got your Travis, you got your Kelsey, you got your Kittle, and I would say Darren Waller's probably the third, or Rob Gronkowski. So Darren Waller is a tight end for the Raiders. He had like almost 1,000 yards receiving last year.
Oh,
you can talk your stuff all you want, but he's awesome. Anyway, if you miss out on those guys, you're gonna be like, oh crap, who do I get? Or Zach Ertz, you could throw in there too. If you miss out on those guys and you're like, I don't know these tight ends, I don't know who to pick, I got you. Out of the University of Iowa, TJ Hawkinson is a guy who was a first-round pick. He was a 10th overall pick behind Noah Fant, or in front of Noah Fant, one of the 2. Both went to Iowa. But he got hurt really early last year. People gave up on him, whatever. Over the last 3 games of the fantasy football season, he put up over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. TJ Hawkinson is an elite tight end. Or has elite tight end talent.
What team is he on?
He's on the Lions. He's huge. He can block. And he can catch the football, super athletic. So late rounds.
Who cares if he can block? It's fantasy football.
He can, because he'll stay on the field if he can block. Come on. So again, late rounds, you're like, I don't know what to do at the tight end position. TJ Hawkinson's your guy. Bank that in. Mandy, who you got under the radar guy?
I'm going with 2 quarterbacks. I'll go with my first quarterback. Now, maybe you don't want to say he's under the radar. You know, so he's definitely a well-known name, but people are very well. Technically, he hasn't even been named the starter yet.
Technically,
I'm telling you right now, I love this guy. This guy carried me to in a 16-team. No, it was a 14-team league 2 years ago. He carried me to second place. Now I know that's the championship. Okay, second place, guys. Jump on Cam Newton's bandwagon. It's the revolution of football. Yes, he's the older one right now in terms of the dual threat quarterback. Jump on Cam Newton's bandwagon. 2 reasons. Number 1, believe it or not, who is the most innovative offensive football team in the NFL?
The Patriots. Josh McDaniels.
The Patriots. Not just Josh McDaniels. He's great. Okay. What's the coach's name? I love that. Oh my God. Belichick. I love it. Belichick. He's my favorite coach. Belichick. He is a genius. He teeters the line. He's going to find a way. Both of them are going to find a way to put Cam Newton in a great position, though they have no receivers. They're going to find a way to get Cam Newton in the best position available for him to make plays. Okay.
I think if you can get Cam Newton like in the 10th, 11th, 12th round, he's a steal.
I got him in a 16-team league. 16. I got him in the 9th round.
I think a 16-team league, right?
Yeah, 16.
So yeah, Cam Newton. If you can get him late, he might be a steal. And I think for the reasons Mandy said, I mean, if he has a great year, I think Cam throws for 20 touchdowns and rushes for 10, gets you 30 touchdowns. That's pretty good. I think that might be something. Belichick gets creative in the red zone. He might be using Cam Newton a lot, and I mean, you could see it happening.
Speaking on Belichick, whatever his freaking name is. Yes, that guy. I love him. Did you see what he said about Cam Newton recently?
First guy there, last guy out, loves what he's doing. All that, I loved it. Yeah.
He gave praise to a player.
Never does.
Belichick never does.
True.
He never does.
True.
He said Cam Newton he was singing his praises.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and I hope it translates to the field, especially for Cam. A redemption year would be great for him. I love the guy. I hope he leads, New England
Oh,
to something decent.
he's hungry.
He's
He's
hungry.
hungry.
I
Uh,
agree with that.
who's
Who's
your
your
second
second?
guy? Oh,
Okay,
might
I'll
me?
go my. Yeah, go. Let's go you. Let's
Oh,
go you.
I'm going to stay with the quarterback. And
Okay.
again, I'm going to stick with another dual threat quarterback you guys probably don't know about, and he's going to be the starter in Carolina, replacing Cam Newton. You could say Terry Bridgewater.
Eddie.
Teddy Bridgewater.
I don't know if he's a dual threat quarterback. Let's say in
Hey,
college he was. I don't know about now after the
yes,
injury.
his leg got still. It's there. It's there. Teddy Bridgewater for the what? Hey, what college?
Teddy Bridgewater went to Louisville.
Oh, you're good.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Wait, I agree,
Ted,
dude. Teddy Bridgewater, I think he could have a big year. He's got DJ Moore, who's is a phenomenal receiver. Not to mention he's got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield to catch passes for him.
No, not just catch passes. Bootlegs. He's gonna open. Everyone's gonna pay attention on the red zone. Bootlegs, kick out. Oh man, zone reads. Bridgewater, McCaffrey, DJ Moore.
Again, a guy you want to get late. These are under the radar guys,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
So a
yeah.
guy you want to get late. A guy you might want to use for your last pick, and if he's there, because I think he'll be there.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Relevant, exactly. Is T. Higgins, wide receiver. What college did he go to, Mandy?
Ohio State?
Nope, Clemson. So T. Higgins at Clemson University. He's a guy that's not going to get talked about. He got drafted by the Bengals late. We're hearing all about CeeDee Lamb and Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy. T. Higgins is 6'5". He's huge, and he's about 220. He looks like AJ Green. And see, the thing that people are saying, like, oh, Burrow's coming in, he's going to build that relationship with AJ Green. We don't know that. AJ Green could get traded before the trade deadline. But I tell you what, Joe Burrow's going to develop chemistry with somebody. And why wouldn't it be another rookie like T. Higgins? T. Higgins might be their go-to guy. He might be, and he's so athletic, and he has everything that you need to be a receiver. If he develops that chemistry with Burrow, I think they both have breakout seasons. So target T. Higgins last, especially if you targeted Joe Burrow and drafted him. T. Higgins might save you. So I think for me, that's a great under the radar guy that not a lot of people are going to take notice of and probably not pick.
Yeah, definitely. I know the Bengals, they have a pretty good receiving core. They have, you said, AJ Green, but they also have the guy Tyler Boyd. He's good.
Ross, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean he could be easily the 4th, 5th receiver, or he could be top 3. Who knows?
That's why you take him with your last pick. So
good gamble.
Yeah.
So
moving on, Mandy. Moving on.
We got Chooch's lock of the week, baby. Lock of the week. Oh, Choochie, we need this bad, my guy. We need this. Oh, and I just reminded me of something. Last week on Friday, okay, I could have been up over $700 if the Dodgers would have beat the Rangers.
Yeah, man. So see, I liked the Dodgers in that game. I really did.
I did too. I picked them.
And you know what pisses me off about that is that the Dodgers literally won every other game against Texas except that one. So if I would have put my lock on any other game against the Dodgers with Texas, I would have won. But
now, hold on, before we go, just to give you an escape, some leeway. You were counting on a specific pitching matchup.
Very true.
Unfortunately, all the games got what?
Postponed, yeah.
Postponed. Yeah. So, still, I could have been up $700.
I agree, and I'm just as mad about it as you people. But I'm gonna get you back to 4-3, okay? And I'm gonna do that with an NBA game.
Ooh, I think you want to talk about what's gonna be a very competitive series, right? The Heat and the Bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. So in this matchup, you can go either way. It's about a 2 or 3 point spread, meaning that the teams are close. They're even. They're battling. But I'm going to go with the team that last time in the last series lost their first game, got punched in the face, and then did what? They responded, won 4 in a row. I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks in this game. And you might tell me, oh, the Heat are playing good, and they are, But Bam Adebayo can't guard Giannis. Nobody on that team can really guard Giannis. Jamison Crowder was guarding Giannis last game to start. They just need to keep feeding him. He needs to go off himself. And the Bucks need to hit their shots. They need to make threes.
Well, see, that's the thing with the Heat. The Heat play minority of the game. They play man-to-man. But the majority, they play zone.
Yeah.
And those Bucks need to make those shots.
As long as And they will, exactly. They have a lot of guys who can shoot the three. Eric Bledsoe is also out for game one. He's a big part of that Milwaukee Bucks team. So I definitely think moving forward, the Bucks will dominate the series. And if the Heat can hit their threes like they were, they could do well. And that's not against the Heat. They're a great defensive team and a good shooting team. But I do think Bucks lock them in. And it's nice that the Heat won the first game, actually, because that'll just make the spread go down a little bit and make the money line even better for you. So give me the Bucks money line as my lock.
Nice. And then for our underdogs, we have a baseball. We'll go back to the MLB, and
Yes,
we
sir.
have a AL East matchup between the Rays, right?
Yeah, so we got the Rays are the favorite in this game, I'm assuming. But they're going against the Florida Marlins, who have been Miami Marlins. Sorry, they've been one of those teams who are like surprising, right? They've got a lot of wins. But I'm picking the Marlins in this one to upset the Rays, and it's not anything against the Rays. They got a good pitcher going in Josh Fleming, but I like the Marlins pitcher just a little bit more. Pablo Lopez is a really good pitcher.
Have you seen his changeup?
Yes, it's disgusting. Disgusting. So I'm taking this guy. I want to ride him to beat the Rays, and the Rays have shown that they're beatable. They've arose to the challenge at times, but they've shown that they're beatable. And the Marlins are one of those teams who are gonna get to them. So my underdog, which by the way, I got back to 3-3 with my underdog picks. So give me the Marlins to wrap up that parlay for you.
I like that. The Marlins have a great. No, they have above average pitching staff.
Yeah,
above average.
That's the right word.
I want to say great.
Above average.
Above average. Yeah. So that's cool. All right, I respect that. Hopefully, we could go 4-3 in both the underdog and the lock of the week.
We're getting it. We're getting it.
So the next man up on the Next Man Sportscast is Lucas Santamaria. Maybe you haven't heard of him, but I'm telling you, you will. Lucas is a professional boxer. He's currently 11-1. He's a welterweight, which means he's 147 pounds. He just came off the biggest win of his professional career last weekend. He's from Garden Grove, California. He fights out of East LA. And this kid, man, just give him time. He's going to be a household name, I promise you. So here we go. Lucas Santamaria, thank you for being on the show. I'm glad you could be on the show with us. We'll get started with the first question, my guys. So the first question, tell our fans, who is Lucas Santamaria? What are you about? Where you come from? Talk to us.
All right, man. First of all, thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm just a 22-year-old from Garden Grove, California. I train out of East LA, and I've been boxing since I was 3-4 years old, and I turned pro at 17.
So where do you box out of East LA?
What was that?
Where do you box out of?
I train at Capetillo's Boxing Academy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. My trainer, I don't know if you guys are too familiar with boxing, but it's Javier Capetillo Sr. He's made more than 10 world champions, and Javier Capetillo Jr.
Nice.
Which he's also a great trainer. He's his son.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my main coach. Yeah.
What part of East LA is that in?
It's on Cesar Chavez and McDonald.
Oh, okay.
Right up.
So kind of close to the De La Hoya gym, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, how did you land there, man? How did you end up landing with that trainer? Did he just kind of see you fighting and thought you'd be a good prospect, or?
No, man, it's a long story. My coach, he got hired down here in Garden Grove.
Okay.
And when he left this gym, I ended up following to East LA.
That's cool.
So.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. So that's important to
get. I met him when I was 16, and then we turned pro together, and I haven't trained anywhere else since then.
Yeah, man. And so you said you've been since you were 3, man, right?
Yeah.
So you've had the same trainer and stuff. I mean, not since you were 3, but you've kept the same trainer. How important is that with boxing? Because I know boxing's such a grinded out, like you got to really develop those techniques early and keep developing them and get better and get in condition. How important is it to have a good trainer, man? How important is it to keep the same trainer going forward?
Honestly, no matter how talented you are, man, you got to have a good trainer. Because if you don't, bro, you could be the best boxer, man. But if you don't have a good trainer in your corner, you won't make it, man. You won't make it far.
What does your trainer do that's different than everybody else, man? How does he get you ready for these fights?
It's just the way they prepare. The like I said, the Javier Capetillo Senior. He's had multiple world
Yeah,
champions, so
yeah.
he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean?
He knows what to do to get you there, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I just follow orders, man. I just follow orders.
And that, hey, man, and it's working out for you, right? So we just saw, you had a fight on FS1. You're fighting Mikel or Michael Fox, and going into that fight, you were seen as the underdog. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, no,
So,
yeah, exactly. I was the underdog. I think it was at 12-1.
Wow.
wow. And
Yeah, so I was.
we're one thing we do on the show is some gambling. So man, if we would have
Yeah,
put some money on you, woo, would have been a nice
yeah,
little
no,
payout.
man, no.
I know you were giving up I think it was about 6.5 inches height wise, right?
Yeah, he was 6'4" and he had a 12-inch reach advantage on me.
Wow. Wow. So
So
tell us.
who developed that game plan, man, for you to just go inside and just find him on the inside? Was that your trainer, or was that your idea?
You know what? We went over the game plan, man. Honestly, it was just keep inside, man, because he's too long. You won't
Yeah.
be able to counter punch him. You won't be able to fight him in the outside. So the plan was to just make it a dirty fight. To be honest.
I saw the highlights. And you dropped him in the first round, right? The first time he's ever
Yeah,
been dropped.
yeah. I dropped him in the first round with a good combination of three left hooks and a right.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean that happened early. He had never been dropped before. How did that feel for you, man? Seeing him go down early, did you feel like you had a good game plan? Did you feel in control, or did you feel like you still really had to work in that fight?
I knew he was tough, man. I know he's tough. So we that gave me a lot of confidence, throughout the fight. But we knew he came to fight, bro. We knew he came to fight, so we knew we had to keep we needed to be smart. We
Nice.
couldn't get anxious, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
dangerous, man. When you get anxious and when you drop somebody and you get anxious, a lot could happen, man. A lot could happen.
And honestly, it's a good thing you didn't because he popped right back up and he was ready to go. And I know
Yeah.
he had a couple good rounds, but I mean the scorecards told a different story. I mean the scorecards really had you dominating that fight. Did you feel in control of the whole fight, or was there some point where you felt like, oh man, this guy might make a run?
Yeah, no, the beginning of like the first three rounds, I knew I had him in the bag, man. But then like towards the fourth and fifth, I
Mm,
slowed down a little bit.
Mm.
And when I went back to the corner on the fifth round, my coach was all like, you gotta pick it up, because we know how it is. We're the underdogs, man. And when if you leave a fight to be close, they'll give it to the person, and that's happened to us before. Our
right.
previous fight, we fought a close fight and they gave us a draw. You know what I mean? When we know we clearly won that fight, and so that's why the last rounds I picked it up and I finished. I finished really strong.
So going by, talking about your last fight, not so much the actual opponent in your fight, but how was it fighting in an empty arena?
It was a lot different, bro. Honestly, yeah. Like the background they had like freaking like cardboard. I don't know if you guys seen it, but
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
it was a lot different. Honestly, it was a lot different. It felt like a sparring match, but a
Mm.
lot more important than a sparring match.
Yeah.
So with that, man, do you feel like that helps you out as the underdog, where you're not hearing the crowd go crazy for the other guy who might be the favorite or might be a champ or whatever? Do you feel like that helps you out a little bit so you can kind of really focus and concentrate, and you're not feeding off that crowd so much as the other guy? You know what I mean? Do you think that
Yeah.
helps you out a little bit?
You know what, dude? Honestly, if there would have been a crowd, I would have had that thing full because I'm from LA. He came from somewhere else.
He
Yeah,
came from
yeah.
So that
he came
shit,
from
they would
DC.
have been it would have been packed, man, with my people.
That's
So
true. That's
honestly,
true.
it would have hyped me up more.
Yeah.
So do you get a good crowd to come watch you fight too, man?
Yeah, honestly, yeah, man. I get a lot of people. I got a big family, and I've been in, like I said, I've been boxing since I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Right.
So I know a lot of people. And so I would have had a big crowd, man. But
Nice. So
sucks. It
now,
sucks.
So now we talked about your last opponent, Michael Fox. So I know it's early. It's early, but what's next? What's next for Lucas?
You know what? Right now we're just waiting for our next fight. You know, we don't have nothing set right now,
Yeah.
but we're still in the gym. You know, they gave me a week off because I just had my baby girl,
Hey,
or
congrats.
not me, but my
Congratulations,
girl
man.
had the baby girl. You know
Congratulations.
what I mean? But yeah, I just had a baby girl, and they gave me a week. They gave me a week off.
Oh wow, how nice of them to give you one whole week off.
Yeah, dude, I know, right? Hey, dude, like back then, when my my previous fights, they'd give me like I'd fight a Saturday and they'd want me in the gym by Monday already.
Oh, yeah.
So I was lucky they gave me a week off.
That's
So
that's that's part of it, man. That's a grind, right? It's such a grind to be a boxer, to fight constantly, and you got to stay in like the best shape of your life your whole
Yeah,
career. And
exactly.
not a lot of sports are like that. I mean, yes, other sports you got to stay in good shape, but you see when guys get a little older, they start to get a little bit out of shape, but you can't do that in boxing because that's when you
Yeah,
get beat, you know? That's why, like someone like Mayweather who stayed at the top for a long time and like De
yeah.
La Hoya, guys like that. But tell us about that, man. How hard is training camp, man? How hard is it to get ready for a fight?
You know what? It's really hard, man. Especially like I said, when they take you away from home, and waking up in the morning to run, then taking a little nap, man, then training.
Hmm.
And then sometimes you gotta train 2 3 times a day, especially if you're overweight, you know what I mean.
Right.
And so it's all tough, man. Especially it's a mental game as well, you gotta be strong mentally, because if not, this shit will break you, man.
Yeah. So when you get like when you're training in your camp and stuff, when you're sparring, do they try to get someone who can like mimic your opponent, like someone who's a little bit taller, bigger than you, better reach, how to get inside or
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's what we do, man. Like when they tell us who we're fighting, we look for sparring, that have like kind of similar styles,
Okay.
because that helps a lot, you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
for
no,
this guy, we,
absolutely.
we couldn't find no lefty freaking 6'4", so
Yeah.
that shit,
hey,
that was
there,
hard.
there's not too many 6'4"
Yeah,
Latinos
not too
out there,
many of
right?
them, bro.
Not a whole lot of 6'4" Latinos in East LA, man. I
I
know.
know,
I
man.
feel you.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, we mentioned some, some more famous Hall of Fame boxers. Growing up in Garden Grove and now finding out of East LA, who are some boxers that you looked up to? That you looked up to as a kid, that you mimicked, your role models. Tell us a little bit.
You know what? I would watch a lot of people, like different people, and just try to get this thing or that thing from them. But my favorite of all time will probably be Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.
Yeah.
or like Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr. was bad. Yeah, just let's see who else. Mayweather's another guy who has a lot of people don't like him, but he boxing wise he's really smart, man. He
He's a
takes a lot
wizard.
of punches away.
I agree. A lot of people
Um,
don't like Mayweather, but I think he's like if not the greatest all time, one of the top
yeah, man.
three, you know. So,
Yeah,
I
no,
think he's
he's
up there.
bad. He's bad, man. And those have to be probably my top three, man.
And that's a pretty good list.
That's a
Yeah,
damn good list.
And
Yeah, that's a
also,
really good list.
those three boxers kind of fought in your weight class, right? They're welterweights, kind of.
yeah, yeah.
So do you have future plans of moving up, or do you see yourself in welterweight for a long time?
No, I see myself in welterweight, man. Honestly, till I become world champion. Once I become world
Nice.
champion, I'm going up to 154, man, and claiming that division too,
There you
bro.
There you
go.
go.
Yeah, but I'm
So
only
Hey,
22
when
right
you
now,
become
so
when you become world champion, bro, you got to come back on the show with the
yeah,
belt,
yeah,
flexing, man.
yeah. And I'm only 22 right now, so I think my body's still growing a little bit more. So I could still maintain 147, which is welterweight. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So real quick, we
Yeah.
mentioned the world championship and stuff like that. Can you just give us a quick rundown? What's the difference between like the WBO and IBF and all these other these what are they?
They're just different organizations. The WBO and honestly, the WBC is the green belt, which is no the most famous. That's my dream belt right there, the
Okay.
WBC. But I mean, they're all the most important ones. Because there's little belts
Uh huh.
that people try to get ranked, but the most important ones are those: the WBO, the IBF, the WBC, and the WBA.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That
So
makes sense.
the WBC, you said that's the main one, right? That's the big one. That one's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, if I'm correct, but
Nice.
yeah,
Shit,
that's the
anyone's
one.
good. That's
We're the
cool.
guys on the outside, bro. You tell us what's good, you know?
No, yeah. No, but that's the dream belt, man. That's the dream belt.
All right, let me ask you this. When you're right there, when you're in your mode, man, you're training, you're grinding, and I know you gotta be listening to something when you're in there, some music, something. What's blasting, bro? What gets you hype? What
Hey,
makes you
you
get
know
up for
what,
that
man?
run?
Yo, honestly, at the gym, we listen to everything. Honestly, like the other day, they were playing Michael Jackson, and that shit was pumping me up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking corridos or some rock.
Okay.
There you go. And is that a big part of it, man? Because I know you said that you went pro in Mexico. So, keeping that culture, something is that something that's really important to you in your boxing career? Because you see a lot of guys coming out, flying flags and things like that. Is that something that's really important to you?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I always gotta be representing that Mexican flag, man. No matter where I'm at, no matter what I do, I gotta represent that Mexican flag. And
Absolutely.
I'm American too, but
Of course.
my parents are from Mexico, so that's in my blood.
Hey, man,
No,
and
for
it's
sure.
it's a big part of Mexican culture is their boxers, man. So keep
Oh yeah,
representing. We're gonna follow you, man. We're gonna follow your career. Like I said, like Mandy and I said, we really think you're one of the next man up, man, and we
thank you
really
guys,
feel
thank
like
you.
we can't wait to see you succeed, and we're gonna watch your fights, man. And we hope to see you on this show next time with that green belt. You
All
know what I
right,
mean?
man.
However long it takes, man, keep grinding. That's what you're
Yes,
good at, man.
sir.
Hey, I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
your time, Lucas, man, so much. It,
No,
it,
man.
it was
Thank you
awesome.
guys. Thank you guys, man.
But last question I want to ask. Last question was, how often do you fight? Right now, being 22 years old, I think you're 11-1. How often do you fight? How many fights per month? I mean, in a year.
You know what? Honestly, my goal is because right now I'm not signed, so it's harder. It's harder to fight.
Oh,
They don't have scheduled fights, but we try to fight every other month. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
sometimes for some reason, for whatever reason, a fight doesn't go through. So it's upsetting. So it's just whenever the everything works out and the fight goes through.
oh,
And yeah, so but our goal is always to get like 3 or 4 fights in a year, man.
yeah. Oh, so you're not signed by anybody.
No, not yet, not yet. We're
Oh,
we're
wow.
working with some promoters right now. We've been fighting under PBC, which is Al Heyman,
Okay.
Hmm.
but we're not signed by them. We're just fighting
I
fighting.
think that I think the Fox win is gonna help a lot for sure.
Yeah, you know what? That opened a lot of doors for me, man. Honestly.
Oh, heck yeah.
Absolutely. You got to just keep grinding, man. Keep
Yeah,
winning these fights. Keep
keep
fighting
winning, man.
good. You know
Keep
what I
winning.
mean? Yeah, you got to keep winning. I mean, that's the ticket, but I mean, keep fighting good and all that stuff, man. My last question for you, actually, is something that I just thought of, and I've actually had this conversation with a lot of friends. Um, back in the day, boxing was so big, man. It was like everybody knew who the heavyweight champ was. You knew Tyson, Ali, all those guys, and we're kind of seeing a resurgence of that. You know what I mean? With like Deontay Wilder and Canelo and guys like that. Describe what that's like to you, man, to be fighting in this generation now where boxing's kind of making a return. You know what I mean? What's that like?
It's those all those fighters are great, man, and they set the bar high for the newer generations. So I feel like our generation has to put in the work, man, to like stand as legends, like more like you said, Muhammad Ali, all those guys, because
Yeah,
they set the bar high, man, because they were really great. You know what I mean? So
exactly. Yeah,
it's not too much. It's not pressure on me, but like it's like I wanna top top them all.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a good
Absolutely.
mindset to have.
Yeah. And that's the
Yeah,
only mindset to have, man, if you want to be world champ. So I like that. I like that.
yeah.
I appreciate it, Lucas, man. I appreciate it so much, man. Have a great time. Have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
once
man.
again,
Hey, I appreciate you guys.
congrats on your new baby,
Appreciate it.
man. Congrats on the new baby.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
All right,
All right,
Lucas, man.
we'll
Peace.
talk to you soon, Lucas.
All right, well, peace out.
So there you have it, our fans. That's Lucas Santamaria, and I mean, as you can see from the interview, just a cool young guy. it was a great talking to him. As I was talking to him, I was thinking to my head, like, man, if the stars align and he continues to progress the way he is, I mean, we could see him wearing that green belt real soon. We could see him wearing that WBC championship belt. I mean, that's crazy to think about, but it could happen. And we're so happy that we had him on the show. And, man, I hope all the best for Lucas. And hopefully when he does get that, championship belt, he remembers us. He comes back on our show, and we could chop it up once again. So that was it. Appreciate it, Lucas.
All right. And that was our guest speaker, man. We had our segments earlier, but now it's time for Rapid Fire Sports Trivia with Mandy. And we've been having a tough time with this, Mandy. You haven't been doing so hot. And I really wanted to make this segment, I wanted it to be this. I wanted you to just get obliterated.
Have compassion.
I'm going to try to give you an easier one today. All right. It's going to be football related because I'm going to give you some bonus opportunities here. Okay. Bonus opportunities, your favorite. All right. So the question is, so there's going to be 6 players that I'm looking for names for, right?
Dang, that's a lot. Okay.
Because one of them is on the list twice. So give me the top 6 fantasy football seasons for a player all time.
Top 6? All right. I'm going to go with...
The hint is number 1 is on the list twice. He's number 1 and he's number 5. So
I'm going to go with the 2,000-yard rusher. I think he's a 2,000-yard rusher. I'll go with Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Tom Brady.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the quarterback from the Ravens right now. What's his name?
Lamar Jackson.
Last year he was studly.
Okay.
So again, that's recap: Adrian Peterson, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson. I'm even gonna go Randy Moss.
Okay, Randy Moss.
4.
2 more. Sorry, now.
2 more. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with some good running backs, man. Some good running backs. Why not? Let's go Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Christian McCaffrey.
Let's go Christian McCaffrey.
All right, 1 more.
And let's go with the receiver from the Saints.
Which one?
The main one.
The one now, Michael Thomas?
Yeah, let's go Michael Thomas. Why not?
Okay. So you didn't do so hot, buddy. But we're gonna give you some chances here because I feel bad. The number 1 fantasy football season of all time was LaDainian Tomlinson with 481 fantasy points. You got number 2, Christian McCaffrey, 471. Yeah, amazing year last year, especially in PPR. Number 3 all time, it's a Ram. Can you guess?
Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk, yeah.
I didn't know fantasy football was around back then. Jeez.
What? 2000.
Oh, 1999.
Number 4 is Priest Holmes.
Who would have thought? The Chiefs? Who would have thought?
Yeah, he's actually on the top 10 list twice, and so is LT. Yeah, I mean he had some ridiculous years. And then the last guy would have been Patrick Mahomes, and that was in 2018. And then after that, I guess I'll give you one more. I guess Lamar Jackson was on there for the 9th all time. And then if anybody else wants to know, 10th all time was another Ram running back. Do you want to guess?
Oh, I think I know this. It's not going to be Todd Gurley.
Nope.
Oh, the guy with the braids.
Yep.
Big guy. Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson, absolutely. All right, so a bonus question for Mandy. Since we got these guys on the list, what college did Lamar Jackson attend? Easy one, Cookie.
Oh, wow, I'm trying to blank right now. Hold on. Wow, Lamar Jackson attended...
Which segments?
Louisville,
correct.
Ooh.
I'm not going to do Patrick Mahomes. That's just way too easy.
What are we talking about? Just kidding.
Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, Stanford.
Stanford is correct. And your last bonus question, Marshall Faulk.
Oh, I know this one. He was an Aztec warrior. San Diego State.
San Diego State, absolutely. So there you have it. Mandy went, I would say 2 for 6. I'll say 2 for 6. And then we'll give him 2 bonuses. So I guess 4 for 6, right? I mean, with the extra credit, we're gonna help him out. We're just tired of seeing them just do so bad.
That's 66%.
We're gonna help him out now. So Mandy got 4 out of 6 on rapid fire. We're gonna move forward, and it's a time of the show where we take the weekend and we give it back to you how we see it. So Mandy, give me your recap. Give me your takeaway for the show.
To make this more lively and not so ending on a bad note, you could say, even though what we said last week was very important, I loved it.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's just. I want to talk about something different. Let's talk about, we talked about earlier, this MLB trade deadline. And whenever I think of MLB trade deadline, what do I think of? Playoffs and World Series. Huh?
Boring. It's always boring.
Yeah, it's always boring. But I want, at least for me, it talks about playoffs and World Series and which teams put themselves in position to make a playoff run. And again, I just want to reiterate and say that by the Dodgers not doing anything, they're actually a winner, right? And the Blue Jays very quietly amassing a treasure trove of young pitchers that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for a while. So this MLB trade deadline, yes, the big names of Clevenger to the Padres and whatnot, but don't forget the Blue Jays, and by the Dodgers not doing anything, they actually ended up winning. So I love it.
Okay, and I like that too. But my takeaway is going to be in the NBA side, and we talked our talk about this stuff, and I hope everybody listened to that last couple of minutes on the show. But my takeaway is a little different. And what my takeaway is one thing you're seeing in the NBA is you're seeing a lot of the good teams be vulnerable. You saw Giannis really just get beat up by the Heat. You saw Toronto, who I thought was the best team in the East, get beat twice by the Celtics already. And then you saw the Clippers drop 2 to the Mavs, and really, if Porzingis is healthy, they might lose that series.
Oh, might.
And then you got another team in the Nuggets who are now on Game 7. They're leading, but they're in Game 7 with the Utah Jazz, who's a team they should have beat, And then you got the Houston Rockets are being pushed to a 7th game. But I'll tell you, after the first game that the Lakers played against Portland, they showed undeniably they're a powerhouse to be reckoned with. Because let me tell you, Charles Barkley said that Portland would win the championship. They lost 4 consecutively to the Lakers, and I know Damian Lillard got hurt. That's another story. They were beating them with Damian Lillard in there. And the Portland, honestly, you put them against any other team, that's going 7 games or 6 games or more than just 5. So
they were not your typical 8 team.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what I'm trying to say is the Lakers have the past couple of days have done nothing, right? They haven't played games. But people are scared of the Lakers now more than they were before that Portland series. Yep. Now the Clippers are looking at the Lakers like we might be the second best team in the West, where the Clippers probably thought that they were the best team. Everybody's looking at the Lakers like, man, that team might be the best team left, and that's how it should have been from the start. But now, honestly, one thing I'm going to leave you with, a little tidbit here. The Lakers are plus 330 to win the NBA championship. They have third best odds, not the second, not the first. They have the third best odds in Vegas. So if you got a couple, maybe $100 or so, I would.
Who has 2 better odds?
Clippers are plus 260,
okay,
and Giannis and the Bucks are plus 300, and the Lakers are plus 330. So if you have a little bit of bread to spend, I would put some money on the Lakers to win the NBA championship now more than ever.
I'm going to do that right now when this show is over.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was our takeaways. We had a good show today. And, I hope you're excited to hear from our guests. Please tune in, follow him on IG, follow us on all of our stuff, and really interact with the show. I want to get that fantasy football league. I want to get a 16 team strong. If you're a podcaster out there and you do sports stuff, let me know. We'll collaborate. We'll do some stuff with the fantasy league, but definitely give us a follow, share our stuff. And that was it for today on the Next Man Up Sportscast.